I'm here outside of Jerusalem at a ministry that is near and dear to our hearts, and we wanted to make you aware of some of the details and to meet some of the leaders here at this ministry. I'm here with Yoel and Liel, and they are the directors here at Yuval. Mm-hmm. And so why don't you share a little bit with our viewers, what is Yuval, and really what is your ministry vision here in Jerusalem?
Mm-hmm. So Yuval is a center for worship and the arts. We are now at Yad HaShmona, but we have 6 locations throughout the country. In the north, central Israel, near the Gaza Strip, Sderot. And so our vision is to encourage the body through worship and the arts, through different projects that we have, worship albums for kids and helping young artists produce their music, and also the school that we have. So we call it Teach, Inspire, and Create. So we teach through lessons, piano, vocal lessons, guitar, violin, etc. And
so the students come here and to these other centers around Israel.
So it's mainly one-on-one lessons. We're also working on ensembles or bands that we can put together, worship teams. Mm-hmm. So we're working on a survey to send out this week to try to get them connected through the different locations also, that as one body we come together and kids can also meet each other and have a drummer from here, guitar, they can meet up, and violin, so worship together.
So you're doing lessons, music lessons around the country, one-on-one primarily, and a lot of that is intended to develop young people to serve the Lord in worship and leading worship and through music in their local congregations around the country.
Right. Yeah. So that is our goal, to encourage the body. First, on a personal level with the student, also to give them opportunity outside of the congregation, a stage that they can come, and we have recitals, and just to be encouraged by that and that experience, and then also to serve at the congregations.
That's wonderful. This is so important because in America, we have such a wide variety of music, biblical music, Christian music, through churches and congregations. But here in Israel, it's more limited. And Yuval is doing such an important work in connecting believers and young people and congregations to really minister to the local body through music and through worship. And so it's such a valuable component of what you're facilitating here in the land. Mm-hmm. So you give lessons. Right. What else is Yuval involved in?
So Yuval, we have several different projects that we're working on. We also have some media projects, some podcasts, shows that we have done, different music videos that we've done, like taking the songs and put a music video to it. We also
I love the English subtitles on some of them because I love the music, but it's in Hebrew, so we're seeing a little bit of English. But I realize it's designed for the local body of believers here in Israel. But I do like the English subtitles.
But I think it's like first the artist himself that he's encouraged, and the body, and then also to be a light outside of Israel. I think that it's a tool. Worship is really a tool to encourage and to strengthen. So that's what we want to strengthen. That.
What's the process that you go through where you're bringing talented people who want to serve the Lord and who have a heart to use their talents and abilities for the Lord? How do you bring them together to produce an album here in Israel?
Well, it depends on the project. If it's a new song with a young artist, usually they reach out and say, hey, I have this song. Could you guys help me produce it? And it's also kind of a learning process. And so really the Lord has brought a few different producers together and that share our same heart, and they really do all that they can to help us reach those goals. So we've had our own personal projects from Yuval, new worship songs that we just felt a certain topic that was on our heart that, we should have a song. We need to encourage the body. So we have different songs that come out like that of just an original idea of ours, and also different projects like albums for kids, for comfort. And
so once the once those albums are produced, you also will do live events here. So you'll invite Messianic believers and unsaved to come and to listen to the music right here in the studio.
Right. So we have nights of worship here,
That's fantastic.
What else?
So
You can talk a bit.
No, another thing that we just did recently is it's an worship evening for soldiers and their families. So they all came here. The place was packed, and it was just a warm environment for them to share their experience during the war.
so important right now.
Yeah, and we just felt how needed it was for them, just to come and be encouraged by the worship, and also people can listen to their stories. And so, yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, you also shared with me before about some parents who came to you because of what the war was doing, the impact of the war on their children. Can you share a little bit with our audience what they said to you, what the parents were sharing with you, and really what ministry through Yuval came out of that?
So yes, we were really caught off guard with that whole situation. So there was a lot of confusion at first, and actually some mothers came to Liel, and maybe you could share about that, how they came to you and with the...
Yeah, they came and they said, wow, this is like, everything is so chaotic right now. We don't know, we are scared, and our children are just so confused. They're wetting their beds. They are waking up at night screaming. They're scared. Our children also. It was with our children, we could see the difference, how the war impacted them in just few days.
And they're living with the sirens going off and running to bomb shelters across the country.
Yeah. And so mothers just reached out and said, hey, do you have something I can let my kids hear to comfort them? And then this project it was obvious for us that we need to do something in this when there's a lack. With
Nothing available
Nothing
for them,
available.
for the children.
There's a lot of things available in English, okay? A lot of things. But we're here. We're in Israel. We need something in Hebrew that can touch exactly their hearts.
Where the children can connect to it in their own language.
And understand. And yeah. So this is how it started. You can share about the project itself.
Yeah, so it started with one song. That a lady in our congregation said, hey, I have this song, a lullaby. And so we produced that song, said we should do more of these. And it ended up being 10 songs, 10 lullaby songs. And then each song, we said we should do a story to go with it, like a nighttime story that's related to that song. And so we did those. And then we ended up doing a daytime album, more upbeat stories for those.
Some of the stories that they deal with, like fear or anxiety.
Right.
Those kinds
of
things.
Or a dad in reserves who comes back from reserves. And we try to make it relevant.
So a practical story that a child could really connect with, especially during a wartime.
Yeah, but also amazing. Not for wartime, but also that we wanted it to be relevant for a long term. So it's like a big variety of stories.
So now you brought in narrators, for the different characters in the story, and you have amazing sound effects and an underlayment of music behind it. So it's really professionally done. Very, very nice. The sample that I heard, and so I can only imagine that it's going to be so impactful for children and for families right now. That's a wonderful.
Yeah,
and then
very excited about.
You told us that there's a little something else that's soft and cuddly that goes with that. Do you want to share a little bit about that too?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the 20 songs and stories are gonna be on a small bear. We called it Yuval. Yuvi Hadubi, Yuval, the bear of Yuval.
So a stuffed bear.
Stuffed bear. Yeah. And there's an audio device we can put in a pocket, and they can just push play and hear it, and just, it's also very therapeutic for them. So they can
put your ear on it.
They can put their ear on it and just hug it, and it's very comforting.
So they hear the story and the beautiful music,
Yeah.
and it encourages their heart and comforts them.
Yeah.
So that the age that you're targeting for this project is what age?
We believe it will be relevant for age 3 to 12 or 13.
Fantastic. Yeah, so parents...
And also for the parents. Yeah.
the parents will love it too, right? The stories are engaging for parents and kids alike.
The songs, the stories, it's all very pleasant for the ear, you know? It's not very, very fast and confusing and a lot of just nonsense. It's we thought about every word and every note. And just for the kids and the parents to enjoy together.
That's wonderful. What I really appreciate about the two of you is, even though you have a ministry that's focused on music and the things that we discussed here, I know because during COVID, I was watching your social media posts. You were helping people in need. You were trying to facilitate with some babysitting issues that moms may have while the husbands were going off to the war. You were ministering through scripture and some devotionals and helping people around the country. And I so appreciate that about the two of you and the ministry that you're running here. So for all of you who are watching, I hope that you have some more insight into Yuval and the wonderful ministry that Yoel and Liel are involved in heading up here. It's impacting so many lives for the Lord here in the Holy Land, centered in Jerusalem, but with outposts all over the country. And if the Lord should put it on your heart to pray for this ministry, I hope that you will, for their fruitfulness, for their continued faithfulness to the Lord in impacting many people across the country here in Israel, particularly at this time, but for the future as well. So if the Lord should put it on your heart, please pray for them, pray for Yuval, and ask the Lord what he might have you do to support Yuval through Zion's Hope, because when you do that, we're able to help Yuval to continue to fulfill the ministry that God has put on their heart. So thank you so much for our time
Thank you
together.
so much.
We appreciate it. God bless.
Toda.